Having a high stress tolerance is undoubtedly one of the key skills. And yes, it's a skill in exceeding in basically any part of life. And for that reason, it's a skill that you should learn. So today we're going to talk about 3 things that you can do to actually build a high stress tolerance. First of all, I want you to understand why having a high stress tolerance is necessary to becoming proficient in basically any part of endeavor as a man, whether it be business, whether it be fitness, whatever. The world is a competitive place. Everyone is competing on some level for scarce resources. Scarce resources such as money, an attractive girlfriend, even status, are sought after for a reason. And people with vast amounts of these scarce resources are often, looked up to or more respected because we as humans understand that these resources are difficult to obtain. Anything in life worth having or achieving is difficult. Being a UFC world champion is difficult. Making millions and millions of dollars is difficult. Now, if you take something like a person's or an individual's stress tolerance and you match it against a level of difficulty of a task, if that level of difficulty of a task overcomes or exceeds your stress tolerance, then you're either going to give up or you're just going to stagnate, in the same place that you're currently at. And you're doing that in order to avoid triggering a level of stress that is too high for you, that's over your tolerance. So if we expand this out, if theoretically you have a stress tolerance that can put up with an endless amount of, stress or pain, then you can, essentially complete an endless amount of difficult tasks, which bring achievement and an endless amount of those scarce resources. Anyways, you get the point. High stress tolerance allows you to complete difficult tasks. Difficult tasks bring you the rewards that difficult tasks get you. Anyway, let's talk about 3 actionable things you can do to actually build your stress tolerance. The first is simple, and that's, exercise and sport. Becoming high level in any sport requires a high level of stress tolerance. And I'm not talking about, going to the gym and lifting weights and being mildly uncomfortable for an hour. The sport I like to suggest for this is martial arts because it actually involves taking on some level of, physical pain, like you actually getting hit in the face or kicked in the leg or, whatever. Go stick to a martial art. Go actually stick to it or pick a sport and stick to it and work hard until you become a high level. This is especially great for younger guys in their teens, or if you're, just kind of getting into the game. This is something that I did when I was in my, late teens, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about high stress tolerance. It teaches you how to deal with things. Certain sports teach you how to, work as a team and collaborate to push through difficult tasks. It's just, sport is something that I cannot suggest enough. There's a reason that when I walked out for my first kickboxing fight, all my technique went out the window and I just started throwing huge haymakers trying to, get a KO. And that's because I didn't have the stress tolerance in that field to deal with that stress of your first fight. But then you look at, pros who've walked out 50 times and they're calm and composed in the ring because they built that stress tolerance. But you can't build that stress tolerance without stepping in for the first time and the second time and the third time, all the way up to those 50 times. It takes repetition to build that stress tolerance. Number 2 is start reframing things. This is a practice that I've implemented in my life that has served me really, really well. And so essentially what you want to do is train yourself to view challenges and pain as both temporary and solvable. Train yourself, like anytime you're in a stressful situation or an uncomfortable situation, take a second and think, okay, this isn't forever. This is solvable. Someone's been through this before. On the other side of this challenge, I will be stronger. I will be a more capable person. So I must endure this. If I want to grow and become a better person, I have to go through these challenges. I've gotten to the point now where when shit goes wrong, I don't even really care. I just kind of shrug my shoulders and I understand that it's part of the game and the issue is, solvable, and it's something. And to start putting effort into solving that issue rather than effort into complaining or whatever. This will give you a huge advantage. Like, you'll beat 99% of people just by changing the way that you think about problems. The third thing you can do to build high stress tolerance is find high performing friends. High performing friends contribute to your direct environment. And I've talked about before how environment is one of the biggest dictators of your behavior. When you have a group of high performing friends, they will give you the extra nudge in the hard times. They will provide you inspiration when you need it most. And most importantly, they're honest with you. They will tell you when you need to stop being fragile or when you need to stop overthinking shit. They understand the winner's mindset. They understand how to push you through difficult times, because when you do it alone, it can be difficult. If your friends are not high performers, when you go to them with a problem or when you start stressing out over something, there's a high chance that they're going to go, oh, you need to take a break, or you need to go to see a fucking therapist, or, whatever. That's not what you need. You need guys who are going to tell you to shut up and start attacking the problem. You need guys that are going to, give you that little push or that little reality check and get you back into attacking the problem. That's what me and my friends do. Anyways, lads, hope you enjoyed. If you have any video suggestions, let me know. Make sure you hit subscribe so you can see any of the next videos I post. Put them down in the comments what you want to see, and I'll make it. Cheers.